Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, we will add animations to the services section. As you know, we have already worked on animation for home section where we used animate.css library. These are animation classes from animate.css library. We will use same animate.css library to add animations for services section. Let us add animate.css classes to services section. We will first add animation to this services heading, which is basically content title div element. I'll start adding animation classes to this content title div element. As we learned in last section that we need to add two animate.css classes. The first class is animated and second is the required animation style class. I want this content title div element to fade in down, and for that I will use fade in down class. This is the animation class from animate.css library. I'll go to the browser and I'll refresh the page and you will see fade in down animation for services heading. Now we have added animation for heading, but there is a problem with this animation, and the problem is this animation is revealed on page load. I'll scroll up, I'll refresh this page. Now, when user arrives at home section and when user starts scrolling down, he or she would not see the animation for the rest of page because animation has been already revealed on page load. As you can see, when I scroll down, there is no animation for heading because the animation for heading has been revealed on page load, and we need to solve this problem. To solve this problem, we will use a very important jQuery plugin, which is wow.js. Using this jQuery plugin, we can reveal the animation on user scroll, and this library is friend of animate.css library. As you can see, it reveals animation on user scroll. It has 2 licenses, but we can use it for free for open source projects. It has a very good documentation for this plugin, and this documentation will guide us to set up this wow.js plugin. As you can see that wow.js plugin is dependent on animate.css library. Let us download this jQuery plugin. Click on this GitHub link and it will take us to the official web page for this wow.js library. And on this official web page, we can also find some further documentation for this wow.js plugin. To download this plugin, click on this download button and then select download zip file, and it will start downloading wow.js plugin on your system. This is the wow.js zip file which we just downloaded. I'll open this zip file, and inside this zip file we have master folder, and inside the master folder we have dist folder, and inside the dist folder we have wow.main.js file. We just need this single file. I'll copy this file and I will move it to the Vesco website folder. I will open this Vesco project folder, and inside the JS folder I will create a new folder. I'll give it a name wow, and inside this wow folder I will add wow.main.js file. Next, let us configure this plugin for Vesco website, and I will open the code editor. To set up wow.js plugin, we will get help from wow.js plugin documentation. I'll go to the documentation for wow.js plugin. As I said before, wow.js is dependent on animate.css library, and we have already linked the animate.css library inside the Vesco website. So we are done with the first step. In second step, we need to link and activate the wow.js plugin. Let us first link the wow.js plugin. I'll go to the body closing tag. I'll write comment for wow.js, and I'll write the script tag and the source to the wow.js file. The wow.js file is located inside the JS, and inside the JS we have wow folder, and inside this folder we have wow.min.js file. The jQuery library should come first because the wow.js plugin is jQuery plugin and it requires jQuery library. Therefore, the jQuery library should come first. Next, we need to activate the wow.js plugin, and for that I will open custom.js file. As I said earlier, we will write our custom JavaScript and jQuery code inside this custom.js file. And now the time has come to write some JavaScript and jQuery code inside this custom.js file. I will add comments for services section. By this way, we write comments inside JavaScript files. Okay, we want to activate wow.js plugin, and for that we first need to include the jQuery document.ready method. I'll first write the jQuery document.ready method, and then I'll explain the purpose of jQuery document.ready method to you. To write jQuery document.ready method, you write $, and after that you write opening and closing parentheses, and inside these parentheses you write document, and after that you write dot, and after the dot you write ready method, and inside these parentheses you write the JavaScript anonymous function. This is jQuery document.ready method. This document.ready method is used to make a function available after the page is ready. It is always a good place to have all the jQuery events and functions inside this document.ready method. As per jQuery documentation, there is a short form of document.ready method. This is the jQuery document.ready method, and this is the equivalent short form of document.ready method. In short form, we remove this document.ready part, and this is the equivalent short form of document.ready method and the recommended way. In this course, we will use the short form of document.ready method. As I said, it is always good practice to have all the jQuery events and functions inside document.ready method. And we will follow this rule, and we will write the active code for wow.js plugin inside this document.ready method. Let me get the activation code for wow.js plugin. For that, I will go to the documentation for wow.js plugin. And this is the activation code for wow.js plugin. I'll copy this code and I'll add it inside the document.ready method, and I'll add some comments for this line of code. This line of code will initialize the wow.js plugin for us. Okay, we are done with the wow.js plugin setup. Next, we need to reveal the animation on page scroll. I'll look at the wow.js documentation. To reveal animation on scrolling, we need to add wow class to an HTML element. I'll add wow class to the content title div, and after that we have to choose the animation style. As per this wow documentation, we don't need to add animated class because it will be there by default in wow.js plugin. Therefore, I'll remove animated class from content title div element. And I'll go to the browser, I'll refresh the page, and I'll scroll up. I'll refresh this page again, and now I'll scroll down, and we will see the animation on scrolling. Now you can see that we have animation on page scrolling. And the issue is resolved. Now we got animation when we scroll. Next, we need to add some delay and duration for this animation. As per wow.js documentation, we can add delay and duration using data attributes. I'll simply copy these two data attributes and I'll add them to the content title div element. The data attributes give us the ability to embed custom data attributes on an HTML elements. In this case, we are adding some custom delay and duration data attributes for this animation on content title div element. I want the duration for this animation to 1 second. I'll set it to 1 second. And I want the delay for this animation 0.5 second. This animation will start with 0.5 second delay and it will take 1 second to complete this animation. I'll go to the browser and I'll refresh this web page, and now you will see some delay and the duration for this animation. As you can see that now we have some delay and duration for the animation of services heading. And now you can clearly see the animation for services heading on scroll. Okay, next let us add animation to services row. I'll copy this animation code and I will add it for the services row right here. Okay, now we just added animation for the services row and we will see the result inside the web browser. I'll refresh the page and we have animation for the services row. But the animation for the services row is fading in down, and we want the animation for the services row to fade in up, and for that we will just change the animation class from fade in down to fade in up. I'll refresh this page again and you'll see that the animation row is fading in up. Okay, now we have animation on browser scroll. Awesome. It really looks amazing. It was super easy, right? I'll format the HTML markup for index.html file and I'll save the project files. Okay, we just finished adding animation for the services section and we are almost done with the services section. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.